Hello everybody, welcome to Never a Foul, and we are just live. We're here to talk about the title challenge. It's Arsenal versus Man City, with Man United lurking maybe after the Qatari bid today just got confirmed. I think they have 2 hours left or something, or 3 hours to seal the deal. But we're here with Daps, Igal, of course, North Side London, and Mons, who is like just, I don't know what he's doing here, but it doesn't matter. He's always spicing things up with us, of course. Big up
Liverpool push.
But anyway, people, you guys are in the show. Welcome everybody to the show. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it, everybody. Mons, I'm sorry. I just I don't know. How are you?
I mean, obviously, I don't know. I'm all right, innit? Like, it's hard game on the weekend coming up, but the Arsenal tears, obviously, earlier this week, it was something special because, you know, I was telling on Never a Foul, I was saying to troops, this time tomorrow, on the day before the game, you will be second and I'll be waiting.
This is a mad thing. The happiest I've seen Mons this season, was when City lost to Spurs and when Arsenal lost to City.
And when we beat you 1-0, I was very shameless that day.
Do you understand why? Do you understand why? Because Liverpool fans have been sitting back the whole season saying City's going to catch you, City's going to catch you. And the moment you beat us at the Emirates, they're sitting there like Shannon Sharp saying, this is it. This is what we've been telling you. And I'm not surprised. At this moment in time, Liverpool fans are secret City fans because they don't want Arsenal to win the same amount of Premier Leagues as Klopp. That's the reality.
What?
They don't want Arsenal fans to be better bridesmaids. Let's be clear. They don't want you, man, to be better bridesmaids than they were. Like they thought they looked pretty in that dress for years, So they don't want you looking pretty with no bridesmaid dress.
I didn't know we only won one trophy on the club.
Huh?
I didn't know we only won.
I didn't know you couldn't hear what I said. I said Premier League.
Yeah, but like,
did I stutter?
Who thinks that Arteta and Klopp are going to be like? Why would we even make that comparison?
No, you're right. Arteta's going to be successful for longer.
How many Premier Leagues does Antonio Conte have?
2 or 1? Is that what?
1. How many Premier Leagues does Klopp have?
1.
So if Arteta was to get one this year, a lot of people wouldn't want that. That's the reality.
But I'll be honest, like Arteta isn't anywhere near Jurgen Klopp. Maybe now, but I'm talking about as what they've done. You know,
in terms of what?
You're missing the point. The point is bragging rights in the league. You guys have been struggling to get over that hump and get a Premier League title. You got one, and this has been a really good time for you guys. It's not even an insult, but the fact is, if we were to get a Premier League with Mikel Arteta this season, it would kind of like belittle the fact that you guys have been going toe to toe with City all these times, and you guys have been goals, and we come out of nowhere. And our first try, we get it. That would be somewhat like
the same way. If Ten Hag, after only being at Man United for 7 months, not needing all his players, if he pips us to second or first place, only getting in the job, is obviously going to overshadow.
Whoa. No, your side. That can't happen. Listen, we didn't give you Zinchenko and Jesus for you, man, to go and let them get above you. You can't. Like, you're not allowed. It would be
embarrassing, though, because this manager is onto his 4th year. If Ten Hag does what this manager's taken 4 years to do in 7 months, it's embarrassing. So I think Arsenal fans need to focus on Arsenal. You know what I mean? That's what we need to be focusing on, because we ain't got no chest. We talk about nobody, no Liverpool, and nothing. You know what I mean? And I really want to get into it because a lot of fans coming out here about don't panic. You man are panicking because you man spoke too early. A lot of things that's been going on in 19 years, you man are talking like we ain't seen.
One second. Why are we talking about 19 years?
You keep saying you're the same thing. You ask me a question, let me answer.
You ask me a question.
Just ask me a question.
One at a time. Guys, hold on. Igal and North Side. Guys, I'm gonna mute you both. Guys, I'm gonna mute you both. Listen, guys, really, we can't hear you. if you talk over each other. But listen, before we do that, big up all the members that are here with us. Thank you so much, and the subscribers. Of course, we need the likes at least to go up to 50 likes, guys. Come on, hit that like button for me, please. Get the 50 likes. We got like 80 people already watching, so please hit that like button for me, guys. One at a time, because really, it's not coming through when both of you talk at the same time. I want to ask. Okay, let me ask the question. Guys, let me ask the question. One question. Okay, Arteta. This is his first managerial job. Erik ten Hag has been coaching for years. This is Arteta's first managerial job. People keep forgetting this because he was an assistant to Guardiola. Being an assistant is different than actually leading the squad on your own. So this is his first managerial job. And if he wins the league or even comes second this year with this young squad, nobody can come and say, oh, but he took 3 years. It's his first job. Imagine you being at a job for the first time ever in 3 years and you do this. I'm sorry for...
Exactly my point. If you get Ten Hag, somebody that's seasoned, it works. We've already seen managers that get bumped up like Lampard, like Ole, and more time than not, they flop. Because you need to go get your stripes. Football's not a rookie game. And when you're seeing all the competitors around us, this is why you can't take your time. Newcastle will come stronger. This is why I didn't believe in this manager.
Well, Pep might disagree with you, though. Pep might disagree with you, to be fair.
Okay, but how many everyone's talking about he came up over him? Alex Ferguson, yeah? Probably one of the greatest we've seen in the Premier League. How many assistants did he have? How many of them became great managers? Jose Mourinho had Villas-Boas. Did he become a great?
Yeah, I agree with that.
But you can't just say, oh, because of that. We've seen great managers have.
No, it's not because he was under Pep.
Sometimes my club shouldn't be a testing ground, bro. After waiting 19 years to come to this, we came to the Emirates to compete against the Europe's best. My club is not a testing ground, bro. You go get your stripes in the Portuguese league and in the Belgium league and them leagues there. Do you know what I mean?
But has Arteta improved Arsenal since he joined them?
Okay, let me answer that. So, Igal already knows. I didn't rate this manager, yeah? This season, he was doing well. It came to January, and fans like myself said, you know what? He's outperforming what I thought he would do. Even fans like Igal that are more positive than myself in the outlook of the club never predicted at the start of the season that would be in this position. Why? Because ultimately, the group that we have ain't good enough. So why wasn't fans like Igal and others that are viewed as the positive, why didn't they push for us to get number one signings, get world-class signings instead of Trossard, that's plan B, getting Jorginho, that's plan B or C or D, because we was going in for Declan Rice and Moses Caicedo. I don't care about being right. I care about my club winning. And if that means that I lose the debate, so be it. I want my club to win. I didn't see that energy. And when form goes up and down. Clearly, we didn't expect us to be in this position.
Is that on Arteta, though?
Really, really well. But that form's going to dip, bro. At the end of the day, outrage.
North side. You didn't actually answer my question because that's not on Arteta. Your board failing is not on Arteta.
That's what I said. I've been happy with what he's done. Yeah.
But so ultimately, has Arteta improved Arsenal?
I questioned him tactically in terms of how versatile he is as a manager. The first game against Man United, I said, okay, where's the plan B, bro? When we can't play through the middle, I need you to tactically change it. Then I looked at it and said, okay, maybe you can change that in January. Go out and get some players that offer you something different, like a Mitrovic, etc.
So you're bored. So you're back to your board, not Arteta.
But at the same time, when this manager's backing what they're doing, I'm not accepting that. He doesn't have
how's
to.
How's he backed what they're doing?
Well, he hasn't come out against it. If you're getting
Trossard, you don't do that in a job. Like,
come on, man, come on. This is absolutely. I want to get Igal. I want to get Igal in.
Mo, 1 second. Right. Yeah, 1 second, Mo. Right. When you look at it, yeah, your board were after Caicedo, right?
Yeah.
Now, your board were naive. Your board did not realise that if you've just got Trossard off of Arsenal, off of Brighton, they're going to want more money, right? Your board were naive with Mudryk, thinking they could go up against Chelsea. That's not on Arteta. It's not on Arteta, bro.
Bro, I'm going to tell you this. Ultimately, with the transfers, it's on Edu. And everyone that backed this manager should have been as outraged as myself and put pressure on this club to go out and buy the players that's necessary. They didn't. They called it a 10 out of 10 window, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10.
Not a 10 out of 10 window.
Yeah? This is what I hear from the fan base, bro. This is what I hear, bro.
I don't know.
I was hearing 7s out of 10s, 8s out of 10. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah? 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 is a smart window. Jorginho is a smart buy. I said, listen, I don't think it's good enough. This manager is outperforming what everyone expected with that group of players.
Yeah.
There's more pressure on Edu to go and get the players, yeah? But no, this fan base always like to create narratives and excuses for us not going out and get
Is
what's
there a
up.
problem with the fan base, or is it?
I said, when people said, oh, Jorginho can get a job, yeah, he can do a job until the main man's injured and then you have to rely on him. That's not good enough. We still needed a replacement for Ben White, which we don't have. Nketiah ain't good enough, and I'm hearing outrage about Nketiah now. I've been saying that in the summer when we got Jesus. What happens if Jesus gets injured? Nketiah, I didn't see this outrage when he got the number 14 and he got 100K.
What?
But now we're going to talk about it. The thing is with
No, there was better outrage.
lying
There
now.
was better outrage.
Come on, Northside, don't lie now, bro.
I'm hearing what you're saying, but when he got the 14, there, even from a neutral perspective, there were bare man's questioning that number 14 shirt. We were bantering them as well. Come on.
man.
in the summer, there was no push to get another striker.
Okay, guys. I want to get it going. I want to get it going. But first, thank you so much for the super chat. Midway, say big up Mo and Daps. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Yes,
Appreciate it. Igal, listen, it's. I think those signings took us to many routes. The board signings, Arteta, as simple as that. I know you love Arteta because of what he did in the last 3 years, right? You do. And give us why would Arsenal fans be wrong to question Arteta? It's as simple as that.
Listen, it's not about viewing. You can criticize and critique anybody. It's just absolutely throwing your toys out the pram and saying the season's done when there's still a lot of football to be played. At this point in the season is ridiculous. Bringing up questioning the January window, 100% you can question the January window. And I have too. I wanted Casado. I wanted Mudryk. I wanted us to go and spend the money. We didn't. Realistically, we had our price with Chelsea. We bid 95 million. It didn't happen. We bid, 65 million. You're not going to force a club to sell the player. And if you want to go as high as you can, if they don't want to sell, you can't do nothing. At the end of the day, we could have done more by potentially putting 100 million down, but they didn't want to do it. They ended up getting what they got. It is what it is. It's not a 10 out of 10 window. Realistically, I looked at it as a 6 based on the fact that we did improve. Even though we didn't improve to the massive levels that we wanted and still cover every single position, we didn't do that. But reality is we still came out of the January window in a better situation than we were going into it. And that was one of the main goals. We had some injuries. We've had other situations. No excuses. We should still be able to compete against smaller teams with lesser players than us. We dropped points in 2 games leading up to the Man City game, and Man City just showed their experience on the night, and it now is causing a lot of questions, a lot of doubt over the entire season. But I feel like there needs to be a little bit of calmness, because there's always going to be a moment where you're tested, a moment where you have to show you got what you're actually made of. And if we can show it in the next couple of days and we can bounce back, all will be forgotten, hypothetically speaking, obviously. But let's talk about the facts. I feel like talking about Eddie Nketiah, who is outraged about Eddie Nketiah. Bro, where have you been? People have been outraged the whole year about Eddie Nketiah. Against PSV, when we lost in Europe, people were outraged, saying, why is this guy even wearing an Arsenal kit? He's not good enough to wear the shirt. It just took recently where people were backing him again. Then you go to the performances from individual players and the manager. The manager can be critiqued and criticized because he does make mistakes too. He's not perfect, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and not call him out when he makes mistakes. But at the same time, I'm not going to disregard everything he's done in the short term that he's been here. I'm not going to go back to when we won FA Cup. Just this season alone, he's built a squad that's competing with Manchester City, who's been one of the best teams in this league for years. We're on a record points total we've never been on in this position in years. We're currently still one of the best teams on form consistency-wise throughout the whole season in comparison to all the top teams in the world of football. There's only like a handful of teams that have more than 50 points on the board in top 5 leagues in Europe. But to now be going crazy, I get it. You're a little bit. We're having a tough period, and you're absolutely seeing all the things you probably foreseen in the summer.
No, regard. It's not been now. Daps knows me very well. I actually started on his channel, so he knows. He's documented what I've been saying.
Yeah. Let's keep consistent with it. Yeah.
In the summer, I said this bench is going to be our Achilles heel. I was pushing to get players in. I was told, be happy, we got Zinchenko and Jesus. I said, we don't have enough rotation. Last year, we got rid of too many players, and we could see at the end of the season, we burnt out Martinelli, we burnt out Saka. We didn't get the replacements. Fair enough, in January, we got rotation for Martinelli, and we got rotation for Tierney. And it's working wonders in those positions. Martinelli's dropped off, you got Trossard. You should have that all over the pitch. We didn't do it in the summer. We got rid of 6 players last January, and they said, wait till the summer, we're going to have a big summer. So I'm expecting a big summer. We come to the summer, I was happy with Zinchenko and I was happy with Jesus. I said, if Jesus gets injured, who's filling in? Nketiah's not good enough. I was told, no, don't panic, don't be negative. He scored in a couple of games for us to go to the top 4. I said he's not the level and it shouldn't be expected to be filling in for Jesus if Jesus gets injured. I told, don't panic. We go into January, we're outperforming what all of us predicted, yeah? Xhaka, I was happy that he was proving me wrong. But at the end of the day, Lokonga ain't good enough to replace Xhaka. El Nene isn't good enough to replace Partey, and we saw that last season, even with 10 games to go, to get to the top 4. Odegaard, Fabi Vieira hasn't been good enough. We saw it this season in the Europa League. He wasn't even shining in the Europa League. We also said Saka needs rotation because the boy gets tired and knackered, and I did think he was a bit tired against Man City. The thing is, when you call these things out beforehand, people like me get told, oh, you're being negative. No, I've seen Arsenal fail to plan and then plan to fail. Name me a transfer window in the last 19 years that we've actually addressed everything that we needed. It's not good enough.
Listen,
we wasted last January window.
Let me answer that.
One or two signings.
Let me answer that one point.
When this manager, they backed this manager when he was 8th and 5th. How can you back him when he's 8th and 5th? And now he's going on a league run, to try and compete against City, and you don't back him properly. And Chelsea, that's 10th, are getting a proper backing. We got outdone for 2 Chelsea players, bro. 2 players went to Chelsea. João Felix would have walked into this team. But what do they say? Oh, it's too expensive. But a 30-year-old Jorginho that's costing around about the same thing as the loan for João Felix, all of a sudden we're justifying it. It's not good enough. The fans don't put enough pressure. We wait till the transfer window's over. Now we want to complain. No, everyone should have been saying what I was saying when the transfer window was open, and we could have affected the fact that this bench ain't good enough. It didn't take
one second.
Fantastic. Igal, 1 second. It's funny. Midway with another super chat said it's funny how quickly all changed for Arsenal. Igal, I know you want to respond. I'm just
going to say 2 words.
No, go ahead. Of course, I just wanted to do the super chat before, and I wanted the likes to go up. People, we got 170 people here.
Please get those likes up.
170 people here, and we're not even on 100 likes yet. Though please hit that like button, please.
Give those likes a check.
At the beginning, you just started off by stating that at the beginning of the season, none of us expected this, right? Fair enough. None of us expected this, and you're going on to say it's not good enough. I get it. Maybe it's not good enough to win the league, but if you didn't expect us to even be in this position, we're exceeding expectations. So basically, we are showing we're good enough at this moment in time to be where we are. We are showing we're a good enough team to be one of the best teams in this league right now. And also, when you're talking about not being good enough, I get it. Our bench, we know about our bench. We know about our bench, but we haven't been healthy the whole entire season. So we haven't been in an opportunity to see how our bench would look if we had our full fit squad. That's not even an excuse, but that's just a reality, right? Going back to the window. When you talk about the best windows, you're never going to see a window where you solve every single key area in your team. Even Manchester City, even the most fullest teams, the best teams, they're not going to solve every single key area. And especially when you're in a situation like we were, a team that wasn't even getting top 4, we have so many areas to fix. You can't fix them all in one window.
Sorry,
it's unrealistic.
Sorry, just to back you up on that one thing there, yeah? Arsenal's targets were Mudryk and Caicedo, right? And very late on, Chelsea came in, stole them, right? Now, something similar but different happened at City. Cancelo, right? So the board had a conversation with Pep and said, do we change our direction? We don't really know who there is that we can get in January because we've got our targets that we're pressing on with for the summer. So it's going to, and they agreed, yeah, we're not going to get the quality of the player that we want in that time. So we didn't address our issue as well, because when it happened,
did you go in the window and not sign anyone though? Last January, we got rid of 6 players and didn't sign anyone. That's unexceptable. Of course,
I agree. This is all on your board.
I agree with you.
Actually, you are contradicting yourself. No,
you did Man City sign last window.
Guys, I just have to say something. I just have to say something.
Go on.
I think you're contradicting yourself because all what you say just lead to one thing: that Arteta's overachieving. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Hold on. But he said that though. But he said it, bro. But think about it. Yeah, we understand the point of overachieving. Yes, you are overachieving. No one here is questioning Arteta. Right? I think it's more the point of the bigger picture. Yes, the the original, you know, standpoint was to get top 4 and maybe challenge for a trophy and maybe a domestic cup or Europa League. That was the original standpoint for Arsenal. But when you are now top of the league, you are potentially 8 points clear. If you went and got those points against Brentford and Everton, who again Arsenal should be beating the way they've been mowing away everyone throughout the season, could easily have been 11 points clear before the Man City game, by the way, meaning that loss would not have mattered. Things change, objectives change. And at this point in the season, when Arsenal are doing as good as, if you've won 16 in 18 games, how the hell can you sit there and tell me objectives don't change? And then we're finding excuses. And then you're letting players like Mudryk and Felix go. And then the complaints continue to run with someone like
I think
Nketiah.
they're letting them go. I think Chelsea were a problem in the transfer window. Let's be real.
They were problem. This is
bro.
what I mean by being ruthless.
Honestly.
Being ruthless.
But hold on. Well, in that case, no problem. My club wasn't ruthless because they got Cucurella over us, so we weren't ruthless in that case.
No, but your circumstance is different. I'm talking about in the current circumstance for Arsenal. If they were serious, if the hierarchy was serious, but I'm not talking about Arteta because I'm pretty sure Arteta had a list of who.
North side.
If that hierarchy were.
North side. I think I know where you're going with this ultimately, and I think I agree. Are you worried? Yeah, that ultimately Arsenal's board. Let's be clear, not Arteta. Arsenal's board and their their aim is top 4, right? And that by being in the position, which is, so Arsenal were Arsenal that were doing the Invincibles, winning trophies. Then they became the Arsenal that celebrated getting Champions League football, right? Now, this season, you've got to a place where you can go back to being that original Arsenal, the Invincibles in that, yeah? But ultimately, your board once again is showing, no, we just want to be Champions League football and earning money.
Exactly. Right. You lot are asking me different things. First, the board, the manager, what I put.
Yeah.
Let me make it very clear. Arsenal Football Club, and the majority of us that support Arsenal Football Club is because they're one of the biggest clubs in this country. The expectation is to win. The expectation is not to be a loser. Yeah. And even when we got them Invincibles, they weren't snowflakes saying, oh, hopefully we can get top 4. But top 4. You lot, seem to forget that you were protesting. Yeah, a lot of Arsenal fans protesting to get Wenger out. Wenger's a bigger legend than this guy. Yeah, because we were unhappy with top 4. But Arsenal fans got a short memory. Yeah, it's nothing personal. This is a job. And when you don't reach objectives, you get fired. The objective this season, whether I rate this squad or not, is to win the league, to compete for the league. I know only one team can win the league, but to be competitive. This fan base for the longest have put more blame on VAR, the referees, pundits, instead of holding the manager, players, and the board and the owners responsible. At the end of the day, nobody expected it with this squad of players. But when you go into January, you know your deficiencies, you know what your Achilles heel is, your bench, you go out and you address that. Even if you take money from the summer transfer window, you use it now. Because if you do everything to win the league, even if you come in second in the title race, and you're within points of Man City, you now look more attractive to players in the summer. Because now they're looking at you thinking that you're serious. How do we used to lose our players? Nasri, Adebayor, Van Persie. Why? Because they wanted to win major honours. When the fans always come out with excuses, now the excuses, the problem with me is I saw too many Arsenal fans getting way too excited too early on. And I said, calm down. Let's wait to January. Yeah, let's see what we do in January. And if they address what they needed to do, I would have had chess. But instead, a lot of them were running their mouth on social media, getting way too happy, not realizing that this is still the same squad of players that you lot predicted at the start of the season that ain't able to win the league. Now all of a sudden you're undermining City. It's not good enough, bro.
No. I think you're actually. I'm sorry. You keep saying that. How many teams have we seen? And I'm gonna let Igal talk about this because how many teams have we seen in the history that go in January and spend £50 million? Not a lot of teams. I think Chelsea are in your head. I think Chelsea, they are in your head. Not a lot of teams.
Bro, they got their 4th choice midfielder in Jorginho. Bro, they got their 4th choice, bro.
Yes, but that's not the point. No side. I'm sorry. The point is, nobody will be able to compete with Chelsea if they go and just pay this like crazy money. You got 3 players, one player in every line. One player in every line. One of them is actually one of the most sought players in the Premier League in Trossard. And that's a great backup. You're talking about Mudryk. Who is Mudryk? It's because he's 80 million. That's why he's in your head. If before the season people asked, who would you want to have, Trossard or Mudryk? 100% of the people will say Trossard. I'm sorry,
No,
Jorginho was your best player. Jorginho was your best player against Man City. I'm sorry. This is just you are really running an agenda. You are really want to make yourself right. No.
Oh, that's great. Put in the 45 minutes.
I loved it.
I was born in 92. I've seen this club have so many excuses, bro, while other teams go on to do greater things. I'm sick and tired of the excuses, bro. This guy's had 4 years, spent 400 million. If at the end of the day, don't talk to me about January, bro. Why did he not do nothing last
You're the one who brought up January. You're the one who brought up January, not me. Not me.
Why in the summer did he not go out and buy the players that were necessary?
Summer or winter now? Is it summer or winter now? Is it summer or winter now, Northside? What is it? Igal, you're muted. Is it summer or winter? Igal, I'm going to let you talk now. You're muted.
Igal, you're muted.
I had to mute myself because I literally was going to just keep yelling. Look, when it comes to this, I feel like you have PTSD, my guy. Really and truly, you have PTSD. This club's giving you PTSD.
You're the one that said it's a disgrace if we don't.
Let him finish then. Let him finish, please. Let him finish.
You're holding grudges. You're holding grudges. You're holding grudges against people. You're holding grudges against people that have nothing to do with the situation. You're holding Mikel Arteta accountable for the January transfer window, when of course you should be holding the board accountable.
Also, he has no say.
You're basically saying that we haven't improved at all since January. We haven't gotten any signings that actually make the team better. Yes, we didn't get our first choices. Yes, they're underwhelming signings, but it doesn't mean the squad didn't get better. By the way, I agree with you. I didn't want Trossard originally. I wanted Mudryk. I wanted Caicedo over the line. We didn't get him. What are you going to do? Are we going to continue to yell and cry about it? No, I still believe the team is good enough. After we left the January window and came out with just Jorginho and these guys, I still believe the squad is good enough to get us over the line. With the way that we were playing, the way that City were faltering, we were there. They were there for the taking. We didn't capitalize. It's not on the January window. Stop crying about the January window. This team has gotten us here for a reason. It's not a one-man team. They have gotten us here for a reason. And when you mention how many people have go into a January window and not sign people, January window is notoriously known for a window where a lot of people don't make signings. If you look, Liverpool, how many times did they make signings? They went seasons.
Igal. However, I will be honest, that's a bad example you used.
I get it.
Because hold on. Let me finish.
Chelsea got players.
Igal, let me just talk.
Chelsea are in crisis. They have to get players,
bro. Hold on. Igal,
let him talk. Daps, let him finish. Let him land, and then you go on.
Let me just say on the Liverpool point that if you go back to 2 seasons ago, right, Liverpool were top in January, and the board failed to. Was it 2 or 3? The board failed.
Yeah, they should have got a centre back while we were top, but they waited till the end of January to go get in Davies and
where did you finish, bro? And where did you finish?
We dropped to 9th and managed to claw 3rd place.
You know what the difference? You know what the difference between that is? People are forgetting that we bid 90+ million for a player. We bid all these ridiculous.
I can hear you, and that's what I'm saying. It's not
so to say they showed ambition when we were 8th and they didn't show ambition now is ridiculous. Going out and trying to sign massive players like this in the middle of the season is showing ambition. Guess what? It didn't come off. We didn't get the signing over the line. So that's why you're going to continue to go back to that. But reality is, forget that. The squad as it is right now, yes, they're overachieving. But the way it's constructed, we can get over the line. We just need to make
sure. Well, these problems not present in the summer. Why didn't we address it in the summer then if it's easier to get players over the line in the summer? Because I tell you what, now that we're going, leave it to the summer, Newcastle are coming back, Man United might be getting taken over. Chelsea
what conversation are we having?
And their way of rebuilding the team, actually, their process actually leads to winning titles. Bear in mind,
what is your end goal of this conversation?
Well, let me just finish what I'm saying. Hold on. This way of building a squad, we've been here, done that before. Yeah? Let me remind you. When we had Fabregas, young squad, we're going to go with Fabregas and all these players. That flopped. We didn't do anything then. Wilshere, Gibbs, do you remember that picture as well? Jenkinson, we didn't win anything then. Just feed a club for Man City, feed a club for Barcelona. Haleb, do you remember that? Do you remember Haleb as well? Adebayor, we've done this. This is like the 3rd youth project, and people forget that. But I don't forget because I'm old enough to remember. The problem is you're talking about January. Okay, let's
smash the like if he doesn't look it.
In the summer, we knew what the problem was. We knew the Achilles heel. We knew why we didn't get top 4, like you agreed, because we didn't have rotation for a lot of our star players, even Saka. Yeah, one of our best, probably our best player. We don't have adequate replacement. We let Pepe go out on loan. Where was the outrage then? My problem is the outrage is only when I don't even know if I can swear, when SHIT hits the fan, bro. When shit hits the fan, Arsenal fans complain. When you tell them we haven't planned properly in the summer, which they said we're going to have a big plan, a big summer, war chest, that is what they said. War chest headlines. They didn't do it. They failed once again. You knew what the signings were. You knew what we needed at this squad. Yes, I'm decently happy with the starting 11, but you need a whole squad, bro. This is why you got a bench, and they didn't do it. Yeah, and only now that both transfer windows, now the summer transfer windows closed, January transfer windows closed, now Arsenal fans are seeing why I was complaining. When the game isn't going good, Nketiah is not doing anything, what striker do you put in? Because I said Jesus may get injured or might have a suspension. When Saka is now out of form because he's tired of playing week in, week out, who's the rotation? Yeah, these players that we say are good rotation players like Jorginho, yeah, you were good for 45 minutes, but the game is 90 minutes, bro. It's not just 45 minutes. When you're telling me that, oh, he can come on good for 20 minutes, which not you, Gal, but a lot of Arsenal fans said to me, what happens when you have to rely on these type of players? This is why you need to buy as good, if not better, than your starting 11. Because if something happens to your main guy, you then have to rely on him. And if he's not good enough, he's going to cost you points. Why does it take for things to hit the fan for Arsenal fans to see that? Last season, the reason I'm saying this is because last season, I said it during the January transfer window when we were twerking for Vlahovic, didn't get him, twerking for Alexander Isak, we didn't get him. I said, I'm telling you, this is going to cost us top 4. Nah. We got points clear. We're definitely getting it over Tottenham. And what happened? We fell short. Yeah? Stop repeating the past, which doesn't bode us well into winning major honours, and hold this club into account. The fans are very quick to hold VAR to account, the referees to account, hold this club to account, because they're the ones that promised us that we'll be competing with Bayern Munich. Yeah? Not fans like myself.
You know what, Northside? You've said a lot. The less said, the better. Because everything you said, you could have wrapped it up with the last sentence. You're upset at the fans. You're not upset at Mikel Arteta. You're not upset at your own expectations. You're not upset at the fact that we have. You seem more upset at fans and fans' opinions rather than the actual squad and the performances this season.
Yeah, because you lot act like they're lawyers and you lot give them the reason why they're saying, I don't need to improve the product.
We're not having a football conversation. We're not having a football conversation.
He doesn't manage the football club, Northside. He doesn't manage the football club.
We're not having a football conversation. We're having a debate about fan behavior. What kind of conversation is this?
Because you fans like yourself lower the standards, so the club says we don't need to invest.
Guess what? The fan that you are saying lowered the standards. One second. Who's actually lowering the standards? The fan who's saying this is not good enough.
No side. Guys. We're speaking over each other. We're screaming in the microphone for no reason.
Who is actually lowering the standards?
These fans are glorified.
One second, bro. You keep talking about Arsenal fans. I'm talking to you here. Who's actually lowering the standards? The person who said we're not good enough to win the league, or the person who's saying we have the players and we're good enough to get over the line? We just need to be able to.
Okay, so when we don't win the league, you're gonna apologize to me? Because I said it last season.
No, I'm not.
Okay, cool.
You want to know why? You want to know why?
I'll be honest.
You have not said anything that actually warrants an apology. You've been just rambling on and talking in circles about every other problem except what actually is happening.
Okay, so we haven't been doing this for 20 years and we've not won a major honor.
Who gives a shit about 20 years?
Because you ain't got an answer, because it's facts.
No. Listen, it doesn't matter. The reality is, you know what the reality is? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I've got a question.
20 years, 30 years, the past failures.
One at a time.
Guys, I am running the stream. Guys, everybody is muted. Everybody's muted. I'm running the stream. Please do not talk over each other. Because, by the way, your point will never get across because nobody can hear you. So please, one at a time. No. Igal was talking. No, Daps. Igal was talking, and I want to let Igal have his opinion. I'm sorry.
Never mute me again, bro.
Come on.
No, never mute me again.
Nobody was muted, by the way. I just said that so you guys can be silent.
But one question to Northside. One quick question. Northside, would you be happy if you're proven wrong?
Bro, if I wasn't happy to be proven wrong, why would I demand for this manager to be backed in January? Why would I do that?
So you
My
do want to be
agenda-
proven wrong.
No,
You
no,
do
no,
want to be
no.
proven. No, this is important. It's important for you.
It's a
I'm
90
not trying to
million
get at you.
That-
Hold on.
that- let me answer
Your
you.
side. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to get at you. This is trying to let people know as well that you are saying what you're saying for the right reason. You want Arsenal to win,
These men
innit?
are glorified losers. Listen, these men are glorified losers, bro. When they go to the Bernabeu, when they go to Spain on holiday, do they call all the Real Madrid fans, "Oh, you lot are toxic, you lot are negative"? Bro, they're the most successful, and you know what keeps the standard high? The fans. They've had players that done for their club. We would only dream players would do for this club. We ain't won the Champions League, bro. And look at the standards over
Fuck
there.
them, man.
Look at the standards of Benfica, yeah? Look at us, yeah, they're not good enough to compete in the Champions League. They're winning the league year in, year out, yeah? Look at Bayern Munich. It's only at Arsenal, bro. They love an excuse. Don't you see every time something goes wrong, somebody's fault, bro? Instead of looking within and saying, you know what? For the last 20 years, this youth project, and we're gonna do it the youth project way, and let's not get on the players, let's not get onto the fact, let's not get into the ownership. Bro, it ain't worked, bro. It hasn't worked.
Listen,
It
am I gonna
hasn't
get upset? Am I gonna get upset?
Was upset with Brandon.
Am I gonna get upset? Am I gonna get upset about every little thing that happened for 30, 40 years about when I'm talking about this season?
No, because it's your standard. Your standard is
Makes sense. It
participation.
doesn't make sense. I feel like you're rambling. You keep talking about PSD, post
Why
traumatic
would you
stress.
get upset about 20 years of failure when
One
you like
second, one
failure?
second.
When you like failure,
One
you like
second.
football.
Why does it?
England, we've
one
had
second.
30 years of
But
her
what-
answer.
But what does 30 years have to do
You're
with
gonna be
people?
upset.
What does 30 years have to do with Mikel Arteta? What does 30 years have to do with the people actually on the pitch this season? What does that have to do with anything?
Because they're doing the same things that
what
made
on
us
earth?
not win
What
Premier
on
League.
earth? What on earth? You're living in a world where you only care about what other people think. Why do you care so much about what other people think?
Bro, you're the one that's twerking, bro. Instead of saying
Why
your
do you
own
care?
opinion. You're the one that's saying
Who's
what's
twerking?
factual
You're not
and
gonna
saying,
rap
"Oh,
to me.
You're the
You're
one
not gonna
saying
rap to me.
factual things. Don't
Talking
panic.
about other people.
Oh, don't worry, calm
Talking about-
down.
Get
You
back
ain't
to
got to
football.
reply to anything
You've
I'm
not
saying.
once
You ain't
mentioned
got
one
to reply,
Arsenal
bro.
player.
You ain't
You've
got
not
to
once
reply.
mentioned one
You know what
player
I'm saying?
on the
You
pitch.
keep twerking for
You've
top
not
four.
mentioned one
Talking about
performance.
Tottenham.
This
You know
is
what? I'm not going to talk over it. Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk. He said he's not upset with 20 years of failure.
Forsyth, what
That
are we
says everything. He's a
what are we
loser.
doing here?
He's a
What are we
loser, bro.
actually
You're a
doing here?
loser. You're a
What are we
glorified
actually
loser,
doing
bro.
here? What are we
Yeah.
actually doing here? Keep talking, my guy. Keep talking. It's
My
obvious.
guy's working for top four. This is what I'm
Keep
saying.
talking.
This is fan base.
I'm
This is
just
how
gonna
they
go on
are.
mute. There's no point.
Participation
Do
FC, bro.
you guys want me to rap a little bit to lift the mood?
Bro, freestyle, because that's what he's been doing. Once again, this is basically a cipher. This is basically a cipher because my man's been talking all day, hasn't brought one valid point. It's hilarious. Forsyth,
You ain't got one valid response. I'm
Forsyth, let me ask you a question then. Forget about question. This is my response.
friends.
This is my response to you. This is my response to you, right? This is my response to you. Talk to me about the actual problems that are on the pitch against Manchester City that you felt like was an issue.
Okay, let me talk to you. The problem is the thing that I saw against Newcastle. I saw against the first game against Man United. We're unable to change the system when this system ain't working. Yeah? Put Zinchenko in the middle if Xhaka's having a stinker. Xhaka's not been playing very well.
My guy.
in the last couple of games. Put Zinchenko in the middle. Move Martinelli into the centre, yeah? And then put on the left-hand side Trossard. Then in Zinchenko's left-back position, put Tierney, stretch him a little bit. Why can't this manager do that? Why is it, that Thomas Frank is able to nullify us, but this manager's unable to nullify any other opposition when he can't, when plan A ain't working, there's no plan B. Is that a lot for me to ask?
Igal, you agree? Hold on.
on.
Your side. Igal agrees because Igal, that was your lineup you wanted. That's the one that on your show you told me you wanted up top.
I wanted Trossard to play.
You wanted Martinelli through the middle.
I wanted Martinelli through the middle. I wanted the manager to make changes. Guess what? He didn't make the changes. And now the same person you're saying, oh, he should have done these things. I agree with you there. This is where we can agree when we actually have conversation about football. Not when we talk about 30 years of hurt. That's all you've been talking about for the first 40 minutes.
Igal.
No more shots. You just agree with each other. Be fair.
Igal, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
In the last 19 years, have we been doing what we should be doing as a club of this size? Yes or no?
No. Because
cool.
we haven't.
Okay, cool. So it hasn't been successful. Okay, cool.
Maybe you guys think the club is bigger than what it actually is.
Hold on. But are we not? I'm talking about England.
I'm saying that. Actually, to be honest, this is what Vlahovic said. The problem is there is no trust. The problem is that there is no trust.
This is the thing I wanted to say to Igal.
But you are going on the fans' north side. The problem is you're going on the fans, and you got 50 points in the first half of the season. And you're going on the fans for being a little bit having joy and enjoying the moment. You really didn't want people to be happy. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Happy about what? I'm happy about. I'm tired of being participation at FC, bro. I've been waiting 19 years since we've come into the stadium. Igal just said we ain't been doing for 19 years what they promised us when they built the Emirates. And when I'm seeing them,
have you been doing it this season?
Hold on, Igal. I'm re-answering what I asked you.
Thank you.
The reason
Thank you,
I'm annoyed is because, number one, the fans don't hold this club to account for all the promises that they make us. We forget and we forgive way too many times. Secondly, like you said, we're doing the same thing that we did before. Arsenal, like I asked you before, haven't had one transfer window in 19 years where we've addressed the major things that we needed. Remember when we needed a CDM like Vieira? We never got one. Remember when we needed a striker? We never got one. It's always the same issue. And then we allow January transfer windows like last year to go by and buy 0 players while letting go of 6. That's unacceptable. Then we're doing this Project Youth. I told you we had a Project Youth with Gibbs, we had a Project Youth with Fabregas, we had a Project Youth with Van Persie. All of them failed. So when I'm seeing my club redoing history, and a history that didn't bring us any major honors, I don't have the right to be upset. And when I'm seeing all these fans saying just be happy, and now they're seeing everything that I've been calling out, why weren't you speaking up before? Because
they didn't say that the Emirates.
Okay, Gal, I'm gonna let you talk. Okay, guys, big up for the super chat. Midway saying, man, fully said, glorified loser. Lee Gunner in the chat, big up Lee Gunner. In the chat, he said, with Lee React, his second account, he's saying if the owners doesn't hold the standards, then it's on the fans too. What is he talking about? Smoking Inter Ultras hold Inter account. Yes, we hold the board accountable. But anyway, long story short, Igal, it looks like the fans they shouldn't be enjoying this. They shouldn't be enjoying the progress. They shouldn't be.
Apparently, you can't be happy unless we win the league. But you know what? That's not what he said. That's not what he said, right? That's what some people are saying. I'm just gonna say this, right? When it comes down to this season, where we've been so far, I've always believed that we could take City the whole way because of the fact that the way we performed. With the recent dip in the last 3 games, it's concerning, and we need to pick up our form, and we need to win versus Aston Villa tomorrow. We cannot lose tomorrow.
Forward.
Right? We cannot lose tomorrow. I'm not going to be sitting here looking back at every single transgression of the whole team and the whole club for the whole time that we've been at the Emirates, because I feel like that's counterproductive and looking at where we're going. Because the same people who were there when we came into Emirates are not the same people who are in charge right now. The reality is the people who are from the top down are all different personnel. So we have to look at it as a different situation. We can have the post-traumatic stress and we can be upset of the past. But the reality is we find ourselves in a good situation. We can still win the Europa League. We can still win the Premier League. I want to go for both. At the beginning of the season, I only wanted top 4 and the Europa League. I wanted silverware and top 4. Now we're pretty much locked in for top 4. There's no way of dropping out of top 4. So minimum, continue to fight and compete for this Premier League title. Try to win it. Now that we're here to win it. No matter what anybody tells you, every single fan might not even believe that we're in it to win it, but they want it. Everybody wants it. They're not gonna. And the reason why some people are more angry and more upset after these last 3 games is because they got themselves sucked into believing that we're gonna do it, and now they kind of feel like, you know what, it's all gone after 3 games, and they're upset at themselves for getting bought into the hype. That's the reality.
Are you talking about me? Are you talking about me when you said that?
It doesn't only happen.
That's not the reality. Again, I don't disagree. Can I cut in there?
Let me just finish. There's 3 sets of fans. I genuinely believe this. There's the people who believed we could do it once we got into the situation that we got into. There's people who are still on the fence, even before we started to drop points. And there's people who, in the back of their minds, never thought we could do it, but got around to thinking, you know what, there's a chance. And wherever you lie within that circle, the last 3 games has shifted a lot of people's mentalities.
Egal. There's a plethora of fans out there, by the way, that are still. They say, you know, if we don't win the league, the target was top 4 anyway.
Oh yeah, that's been the backup plan.
There's a mass section of Arsenal.
No. Let me.
So,
To those people,
I want to post a question. Can I post a question again? A question, and everybody's agreeing with the question. Is saying if we don't win anything, does Igal want the manager, Edu, and some players sacked?
I think that's ridiculous.
It's a bit extreme.
You think that's?
In the
Can I ask you a question? How many likes are we on?
We're on 125 likes, and I have 250 people, guys.
We should be at 300 likes by the end of the video. Come on.
Thank you. Please check it. Yeah, if there's not thumbs up below your screen right now, please give it a tap.
Can I just go first on this?
More people.
When it comes down to people who say top 4 is the expectations, yes, at the beginning of the season, expectations change, my guy. That's the reality. Expectations change. We're in it. We're in it to win it. That's the reality. If you finish second, everyone should have a level of disappointment and be somewhat upset. You cannot sit there and tell me we had an opportunity to win the league, and at the end of the season, you're going to be laughing and joking, saying, we did what we had. We were supposed to do. Great season. No, bullshit. You're lying.
Who do you hold to account on that?
Wallahi, 100%. I've said this for months.
No, who in the club do you hold accountable for us not winning the league if we don't?
Bro, I believe that the players actually want this too, and they've told us. Do you know what Martinelli came out and said the other day?
I don't blame the players, bro. I don't blame the players. I blame Edu. You're there, yeah. You've been monitoring Mudryk for months, yeah, and you're unable to do it. You're unable to get the deal over the line, yeah. Waiting for one of our rivals to come in. When is the last time that Arsenal have won a bidding war? Right, we don't win bidding wars. We're not that kind of club, yeah. So you go and get the deal done. We're ready. Do you remember when we lost out to Rafinha? We don't do bidding wars, bro. Every bidding war, we lose. Mudryk, we lose. Rafinha, we lose. Go get it done. You've been scouting the player for months. João Felix, yeah? Why is it that we're haggling for 15 mil when we're able to do a 15 mil on Jorginho that is 31 years old? Why not get João Felix that is an adequate replacement for Jesus? And then if he blends into the team, you can then buy him at the end of the transfer window. It's a no-brainer. 15 mil for that quality striker. Edu is ridiculously bad at his job. And if I go to work and perform like him, I'm held accountable. So why can't I hold the people that have power at my club accountable for them not doing what's required? I've actually no one's stopping anybody from holding your player accountable. Edu has been held accountable by myself too. I've said I wanted Edu out in the past. But But the reality is we're having two different conversations here. I still feel like even though we didn't get our first targets, we learned from last January, and last January we didn't sign anybody. This January we said we're not going to settle with nobody. We got another option in Trossard. We got another option in Jorginho. Even though it's not our first choice and it's underwhelming, it's better that you improve in even a little bit rather than not improve at all. Okay, but why didn't we do it in the summer? Because you remember in the summer, at the start of the window, we wasted 2.5 weeks doing nothing. 2.5 weeks doing nothing. And we do this on a regular. Every transfer window, we drag out every signing. We waste weeks. We do nothing. Why are we not signing more players, bro? I don't understand why. Because we can afford it. We've got the fourth richest owner in the Premier League, bro. We're fourth richest. So don't tell me we can't compete financially. Why are we not doing it? And I'll tell you why. Because when fans, the club always listens to fans, bro. Clubs listen to fans. And they see what the mood is of the club. Sponsor deals to keep happy. They put a lot of money riding on the club. Yeah, they don't want stocks to go down. Don't think they don't know. We are the consumer. When they're seeing that the consensus overall with the fans, and the reason I keep talking about the fans, when you raise the standards of the club will be raised. We saw it over there in Portugal, Sporting Lisbon, and I'm not saying this is the right way, but they had enough with the way that Benfica and Porto were dominating the league. They stormed the pitch. They switched at the players. They sold Bruno Fernandes. The club went out, got the players. Next season, won the league. I'm not saying that is the way, but hold your club accountable instead of other people online, yeah, holding fans like myself accountable. All I want is my club to win. Since when is that a crime? Because I want my club to be better.
What the issue is, though, my guy? We're having a conversation about people who are not on the stream.
No, but bro, me and you are not the only Arsenal fans, and those are the loudest. They're the loudest on social media. They're the loudest on YouTube. They're the loudest everywhere, and it's all about participation. FC. This is a competition, bro. This isn't Tesco's versus Aldi. Who's got the cheapest flipping slice of bread? This is a competition. You enter it to win.
Aldi.
Yeah, there you go.
I was just gonna say, I don't think either of you are completely on the either side of wrong. I think it's just two different standpoints. I think I do kind of lean a little bit towards North side a bit more, simply because when it came out that Chelsea had got Mudryk, the reason was because they didn't bid any more money. Chelsea didn't bid any more money. The add-ons were classed as unrealistic.
I'm telling you, yeah, bro. No, months, be real. Be real. You know that Chelsea, in some way or another, have paid more money somewhere, bro.
Right, listen, but like until I see that, do you know what I'm saying? I'm just going off what was said, and if it is allegedly that the add-ons and the technicalities were unrealistic from Arsenal's point of view, that is probably one of the most frustrating things to hear as a fan who, again, when you look at the bigger picture, Arsenal have not been able to compete for the last is coming up to 2 decades. They competed about 3 times within the last 2 decades, and when you finally come to a point where you're top of the league. Arsenal haven't been in this position since the guy that broke his leg. What's that? Eduardo. Before Eduardo broke his leg, bro. So you got to look at this moment and you have to grab it by the nuts. Pause. You have to go and do what you need to do, whether it's even if it's just outside your budget. Make it happen. Make the contracts longer. Do something. Don't have unrealistic.
So I'm just gonna cut out here. So
I gotta go too. I gotta.
Yes. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead. You guys just
let me land. Yeah.
People, please, one more. I'm leaving now, but please let me leave with those likes going up. Helps the channel, helps it get pushed everywhere. So check the like button below. Smash a like. Igal, thanks for coming on. Mont, thanks for coming on. Mo, thanks for being the sensational host. And Northside, love my brother, and thanks for coming on.
I already know.
Bless.
You have yourself a good one. Listen, I don't have no situation with any Arsenal fans. Honestly, negative, positive, whatever you want to do. But realistically, my whole thing has always been, if you're gonna be upset, you can be upset. You just try to come with arguments where like I can understand you and I can meet you halfway.
You can't understand because you can't reply to what I'm saying. The year, this reminds me of the year that we came second with Leicester. What happened in that transfer window that year? Oh yeah, there's no quality in the transfer window. Yeah, we signed no one. If we would have signed, we could have picked them to the Premier League, and was the only team competing with them that season. And when I'm talking about history, it's because history is repeating itself.
History has nothing. 1 second. I gotta go. I gotta just say this: history has nothing to do with Aston Villa tomorrow. If we win that game tomorrow and we keep this going and we continue going, you're not gonna mention 16 years ago. If these guys win on the pitch, you're not gonna be upset. That's the reality. I get it. You're not upset at me. You're not upset at other fans. You're really just upset about the situation. That's the reality.
That's the best response.
Anyway, okay. Guys. Let's just say it. I know you gotta go. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here with us. The last thing is Northside. Rafinha wanted Barca all costs, though. This is Midway's super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody that tuned in. Thank you everybody. Mons, I know you have a stream, and Igal is going to his stream right now.
My stream's at 9:30.
It's at 9:30, guys. It's the call-in show if you wanna get your opinion heard on Big Six Bands. Thank you guys for being here with us. Good conversation, a little bit loud, but it's fine. It's all good.
I'm African, man. Come on.
all good. Thank you everybody that tuned into the show. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow in the extra time debate show after the games at 9:45. Thank you everybody for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow. I think Man United will be bought by the Qataris, so thank you guys so much. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow.